Hi, everyone. This is Royletta Romaine. I'm the owner of Healing by the Forkful. I'm a registered dietitian, also licensed and a certified LEAP therapist from Boston, Mass. LEAP stands for Lifestyle Eating and Performance. I help my clients reduce or even stop symptoms of inflammation, fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, and migraines with food, not medication. You can find me on Instagram at Healing by the Forkful, or you can email me at healingbytheforkfulrd@gmail.com. My mini podcast is short and to the point. A few times a month, I will bring you a new person who has been helped by what I call a personalized anti inflammation blueprint. Please send me an email if you have questions or would like to be on the podcast. My hope is to reach and help as many people as I can. So, welcome to Healing by the Forkful. Let's get started. So today we actually have a fellow LEAP therapist patient who has had significant success, and she was so excited when when I said I was looking for someone to share their story, because not too many people know about this protocol, and I it was so life changing for me that I decided to open a private practice and specialize in this. And whenever I can find someone, I have to let them share their story. So let's meet Jill. Hi, Jill.
Hi, I'm Jill Hettrick, and I'm just here to be a part of your journey and my journey together.
I'm so excited to share your journey. So many people think that it's medication or not, and this protocol is amazing because it can stop you from taking medications, or if it doesn't stop you, it can significantly reduce the amount of medication that you need to take, depending on what ails you. So, tell us about the symptoms, and if you want, you can share the diagnosis with us as well.
I've been sick for many, 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 many years, as long as I can remember. Not knowing, never getting answers, going to the hospital in an emergency with left side pain, and then give you some drugs, painkillers, and we don't really know. And so just in the last couple of years, I found out that I have like a irritable bowel syndrome
Uh,
or diverticulitis,
mhm.
and started seeing a gastrologist. And that's kind of where it all began, along with watching my LEAP person's story about her little boy, and was kind of watching that as well.
Yeah, it's amazing, and folks, you can actually find Sarah Morrison's son on another episode. Well, I spoke to his mom. We're still trying to get him to speak with me. He's a little boy, so we'll see if we can get that too. But he's been very successful, so successful that that Jill decided to try. So, how long did you have these pains before you started going to the hospital, and then once you got to the hospital, how long before they gave you a diagnosis?
I mean, I was going through this off and on for 30 years. I
Wow.
mean, seriously, 30 years of unknown pain, thought that I was dying. And so when they finally found somewhat of a problem, then, we kind of started talking and giving the little blue pill. That's all I call it. I don't remember. Dicyclomine, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay.
And that would help, a little bit. But then my husband read really bad side effects about it. And he said, dearies, you got to stop.
Yeah.
And so then I was watching Sarah's aspiring sprouts and thought, you know what? I'm going to try something different.
Can you tell us a little bit about the side effects or issues that you saw that your husband mentioned to you about the medication?
Well, I mean, there was definitely some brain fade, and it did talk about like a dementia type thing. I it worked, and I was happy to take it. But when he pointed it out, it's like, yeah, I have had some brain fade, so let's try something different. That's scary.
It's very, very scary. So
Yeah.
how long, so you've been following Sarah, and then you just, drew a line in the sand and said, I'm going to go talk to Sarah about what she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I had been watching anyway, and I had presented it to my doctor, my gastrologist, who completely scolded me, belittled me, and said,
Oh,
"Why in the world would you want to do an elimination type diet instead of taking this OPEC or OPEP? I'm not sure what it is." No. They were trying to get me to take the new one, the weight loss, the
oh,
OPEC.
Ozempic. Hmm. Hmm.
Ozempic, yeah. And I'm like, why would I want to take medication when I can try and heal my body by myself? And
Absolutely.
that's,
Absolutely.
or with help, with LEAP, but on my own terms, not on medication terms.
And
That
it's
makes
so important to realize that there are some other alternatives. And again, doctors and nurse practitioners giving medication, that's very important. It has its space, but there are also times where you're just like, well, why wouldn't I try something before I go into taking something that has all of these crazy side effects that it may make my stomach feel better, but the rest of me is not feeling good. So I'm in bed anyway, not feeling well.
right.
Also
Yeah.
about the times for the appointments, the buying the medication,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, and still taking medication and still having to cancel out on friends because you still just didn't know how you were going to feel.
Right. Right. I mean, the medication doesn't heal you, it just helps you. But I was super lucky because my husband's work had a program called Hinge.
Oh,
And with the program, it was like talking about pelvic. You could do knee, pelvic, back, but I chose pelvic because I mean, it's all down in that area.
right,
And
right,
so when I started with Sarah, and Aspiring Sprouts, I started with Hinge, and so it was a really nice combination that just happened to fall together at the same
right.
time.
Wonderful. So I'm going to go back a little bit. Can you tell me a little
Yeah.
bit more about the symptoms that you had?
Oh my gosh. Just unpredictable loose poop. And it would last, quite a long time. And the pain was excruciating. I
Wow.
finally determined that if my husband took his fingers and he pushed along my hip bone on the left side, because it was always only on the left side, which I had my left ovary removed,
Uh,
and so, I mean, maybe there's scar tissue. I don't really know, but maybe, from not long ago. And so once I started pushing in deep, then I'm like, this is really like, I don't know, a problem with the inners, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, 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 yeah. Wow. And
Yeah.
what had you tried before that medication and before LEAP to decrease your symptoms?
Well, I thought maybe weight loss would definitely help my knees. And incontinence, which happened when I had knee problems. Then
Hmm.
suddenly I had some incontinence, which is awful. You can't do anything with that.
Right, right.
And so I tried Noom. Noom was a great beginning. It was really a great beginning because it helped you with the calories. It helped you with saying, you don't have to give up everything.
Right,
But with with Leap, you're finding out, well, what do I need to get rid of, and what can I eat as much as I want?
right, right.
So it was
So
a
I'm
good
sure Sarah
beginning,
was really
babe.
good at helping you. Once you found out the foods, that's something else that's really important about working with your leap therapist is that we
Yeah,
tell you some things to stay away from, but we also give you all of these things that you can eat, all these things that you can fit in. You try some new foods,
right.
we help you with some recipes, so it
Yeah.
ends up that you're not missing what you thought you would miss at all.
Right, because with great recipes and great spices, once you find all the combinations, you can
Hmm.
make so many different things. And Sarah was able to. She would actually, with a lot of investigation, she would find products from all over the place
Yeah,
and go, "Hey, guess what I found?"
I
You
love
know,
that. I
and I
love
mean,
being able to do that. Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, that is so helpful. You're like, "Oh my gosh, you found clean peanut butter?"
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Or whatever,
Because you don't think
whatever
about
it is.
all the things that they put into different products, whether it
Yes.
be to save money in the long run, or they're just putting extra fillers in different products to begin with. But yeah, I love going
Yes,
to
you
the
get that,
supermarket and looking at labels and trying to help my patients find things that work for them.
right? Because once you get the all the things that on the leap that they check, then you're like, well, I've never even heard of this word before. I need to look at all the labels
Right.
now to check that. So, I mean, it is such amazing information. Drinks that you would never think of, all kinds of different where they sneak these things in.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we talked a little bit about the beginning being having to eliminate some foods, and so tell me about what was the hardest part about that, and what was the easiest part about that.
Um, well, when you feel so bad, you're so bad, you're pretty ready to start something different. And the hardest part really is that I have a teenager and and my mom, and both
Mhm.
of them are kind of like food pushers.
Uh,
That's like something we would do. And so that was probably the most difficult part of this whole journey, was really being strong and saying, I don't even want that in the house anymore. So being firm. And it's hard. It's hard to stand up for yourself
yeah, yeah.
and trying something new and to try and heal your body, because not always do people want you to heal your body.
That is so important. It is so true. I hadn't really thought about that, but you're right. Sometimes people don't want to see you making positive changes, um, so that you can feel better. Because when you start feeling better, you actually become a different person, and they don't know what that person is going to be like. So that just puts a new scare in their life, something that they can't control. Interesting.
Exactly.
That's very interesting.
Exactly.
Um,
And that was
so
hard. I
go
had
ahead.
my husband's full support. He was
Nice.
great. He helped me, and gave me ideas too. And so the support that I had on the other side was good. And then Sarah was just such a great support all
Yeah,
the way around.
yeah,
Anything you needed.
she definitely is. Um, did you find a new food that you absolutely love now that you weren't eating before? Just curious.
No.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, well, it's weird because it's not even on my leap thing, but I did find kohlrabi.
Okay,
It's
okay.
and
But you
it
probably
didn't give
wouldn't
me
have
trouble.
tried it because you wouldn't have eliminated the foods that don't feel good for you. So,
Right.
mhm.
And that was the other thing, was I found out through this program, because during that elimination time, and you start adding foods in, I added in lettuce. And even though lettuce wasn't any part of the problem on my diagnosis or my blood test, lettuce is terrible. I can't even have a little piece of lettuce. It causes pain in the night. And
Wow.
so by doing this LEAP program and starting to add in new foods, I would have never known. I ate salad all the time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so by eliminating that alone, by becoming more aware of what you're putting in your mouth and how does your body feel? How quickly did I get a headache?
Mhm.
Or, I mean, that's been really interesting. Sugar, any kind of bites of sugar, that is super hard on my stomach
Yeah.
immediately. And so all this learning in that first couple of phases are just amazing.
Fantastic. So tell me, how long was it before you started feeling the relief?
I I could tell a difference within 2 weeks.
Nice.
Within 4 weeks, I was riding my bicycle for the
Wow.
first time in over 10 years. So at 2 weeks, I was 45% better. At 4 to 6 weeks, I was 65 to 75% better.
That's
And
crazy. Such good
that was
news.
amazing. And, part of it, of course, people always want to lose weight. And, for me, yes, losing weight would be great. I did lose some weight. In the end, I did, as I added more and more food in, I did gain probably about 5 pounds of that back.
Hmm.
And I fluctuate at least 5 pounds anyway. So I also want to say that there's a lot of brain processing that goes on. If you're watching around, a lot of people are showing their body as they're losing a lot of weight. And so, with this program, you're learning a lot, your body is changing a lot, and your mind has to process um, what is it going to look like with loose skin? you know
Mm,
and you might have to step back a little bit and go, I think I need a moment.
right,
And
right,
then
right.
move on. So, like, right now I'm at the stage where I will be really getting deeper or returning to the deeper beginning, just to give myself a little bit of a reboot this weekend. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact, we have two different events that we're going to go to, and
yes.
there's going to be a little bit of a snack. And I will be going back to the beginning a little bit, not maybe all the way to the beginning, and just give a reboot. And that's also really, really important.
That is so great because you can do a reboot at any time now that you know what you're dealing with. And it's also important
Yes.
to note that some people can eat things on their list, their red food, but in a very, very small amount. Some things are dose dependent. So that tends to help a little bit during special events and things like that. But for the most part, you want to stick to what makes you feel good. Hmm.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it's not fun to go back.
No, it's not. It is not. But then you get that, oh, I feel so much better. Because when I did mine, I actually jumped right in. Like I chose foods that were one and lower. Like I didn't even, because I just wanted to feel, it's been so long that I had felt so badly. So, and it worked.
Yes.
It worked amazingly. So it was awesome. So tell me, how has your life changed since following the LEAP protocol?
Honestly, my mind is working so much better. I mean, it really is working better. And I do think that not just was the 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 blue pill, dicyclamine, causing me trouble, but you could really see where cleaning out your whole body really made a difference to my mind. And
Hmm.
so I'm a clearer thinker. I speak better. I can make bigger plans. I can make bigger plans of outings. I have new things that are beginning in my life that I haven't had for a long time. I have a new baby coming, which is really super special.
Oh,
Yeah, and
nice.
so
Oh, that's awesome. And you'll actually be able to hold baby and play with the baby as they get older because your stomach won't be bothering you, your joints won't be bothering you. So
oh,
you'll actually be able to enjoy this new phase of your life. That's awesome. Congratulations.
thank you.
It
Yeah,
is so
it's a
wonderful.
happiness to
Exactly.
move on from such debilitating living. And I see people. I had to go into Burger King to get my boy a burger. And I ran into a lady and we were talking. I'm like, oh yeah, I found this great program, this lead program. And she's like, oh, I'm on Ozempic or whatever that is. And I'm doing so good. And you're eating McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. And
Whatever.
instead, maybe you would be at home, like grilling your own burger and, leaving off the lettuce.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
that your body would be like, hey, this is really better. So I do try and spread the news. And that's why I'm happy to be on the podcast with you, because I tell all kinds of people and strangers all the
uh-huh,
time.
uh-huh. So you talked about grilling. Tell me a little bit about some of the yummy things that you've been preparing for yourself. So people who are afraid to take this jump, they can know that there will be some great foods for them to still eat. So tell us what you've been eating.
Gosh, I fell in love with salmon. Salmon's one of my really love foods. And so
Hmm.
I think I have like a whole bag of salmon that I do all to do the air fryer.
Nice.
I go to a real basic. I go to a lot of basic soups. I just find that it's so nice to just have this available. It's quick.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
make different kinds of soups. I can do like even a rice. I have rice, a lot of rice, because noodles, some of the different kinds of noodles I can't eat. So I have found rice noodles, rice crackers,
Hmm.
and that has been great help. And I make snacks. Oh, snacks. I will take clean peanut butter and some clean syrup and just
Hmm.
make, I use not even a quarter of a cup, like these little tiny dessert cups.
Yeah.
And I made that with rice cakes. So what did I make? I made Rice Krispie treats, and then if
Nice.
you have some really dark chocolate, then you've got the peanut butter Rice Krispie treats. And
Hmm.
finding ways. I know a girl who she and her child would make all these yummy treats and Fruit Loops, and they would do crafties and stuff. And I watched her from being on the elite program start doing like more nutritious crafts,
Yeah.
edible
Yeah. Yeah.
crafts. And those things are just using your imagination to say, a peanut butter, a chocolate chip cookie. I mean, I'm not really a junk food eater
Yeah.
until sleep, and then you're like, well, yeah, I can't really have that or that or that, but I can make I can make walnuts and I can melt some chocolate chips in it, and I
Uh-huh.
have a chocolate chip cookie.
Nice.
Like in your mind, because it's about
Yeah,
working with your
same
mind, right?
flavors, different textures, but
Yeah,
same
yeah.
flavor. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I made a banana split. So then that would be with walnuts, chocolate chips, and bananas, and a little
Uh-huh.
bit of whatever kind of milk I can drink. I can drink lots of nut milks. Um, uh, yeah, and oat milk, oats. That has just been a life changer. So lots of yummy little treats and making it healthy, and it's healthier for my husband too. So it's good.
That's awesome. Awesome. Um, Give me some more on how your life has changed. Because you guys can't see, but Jill has been smiling this entire time, ear to ear. So you can tell that she's definitely feeling better. So tell us what else. I mean, you've got the new baby coming. You've been able to do bike rides. Um,
I'm just How is life better? I mean, I am happier. I mean, so emotionally, I I spend more time doing things that I love, and that does make life better. Um, Being able to capture your words, being able to speak clearer, being more out socially, going to church more often, or I went to the theater with Sarah and her children
yeah.
in the show, I mean, things maybe, so self confidence, right? That would be the
Mm,
word that I'm looking for. And
mm,
I think that is amazing. I have a couple more goals, a little bit more weight loss. I have not been this weight, so I am 60 now.
Mm.
I have not had this weight since I think um 60, so 24,
Wow.
24. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Mhm.
amazing. That's
I
amazing.
have been just, like in the 200, higher 200s. And
Mm-hmm.
so to get down and have that as a difference is
Because you're actually able
so
to
much.
move more, which is building more muscle mass, which is exercising, which is losing calories. So, yeah,
Yeah, being
yeah,
old. And so I'm kind of taking a break on the hinge, and doing those isolated exercises because with the baby, you have now she's not my baby, but I didn't
yeah,
have her at 60, but she is my baby at
yeah,
60. I'm getting a new
yeah.
baby at 60,
That's
and carrying a 15-pound baby with a car seat and putting her in and out and
a
taking her
workout as
out.
is.
Yeah, and wearing a sling and holding that baby, all of that, moving your body to be able to do those things. Get on the floor, get
Yes.
off the floor. It is amazing. It is life changing, and at 60, I am so excited to be able to be doing these things. That's like my dream, really.
Oh, I'm so
Living my
happy for
dream. I'm
you.
living my dream. I
Yeah.
want to, what was that? You go up in the trees and you swing, and I want to do that still. That's something that I want to do.
Oh my goodness. Ugh.
Yeah, I can't
Oh
think
my
of the right
goodness.
word.
Yeah, I know
I
what is
know.
that?
Oh,
I've done it before.
I almost said it, but no, I didn't. So
I'm
that's
like,
still
what?
one of my big goals. Yeah,
Zip
it's
lining. Zip
yeah,
lining.
that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's on my goal. I don't know that my knees would actually let me get on a horse, but
Mm.
boy, if I could do it, I mean, those are the
It
things.
might be. You focus on
Yeah,
leg exercises, and
yeah,
it could very well happen. But zip lining, wow,
yeah.
that's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
I've
so
been
that's
a couple of times, and it's definitely exhilarating. Um, so
that
yeah.
is still a bucket list. I'll get there. My husband
Yeah.
wants to hike up one of our huge mountains, and
Okay.
there's a pathway. I got to hike down into our Ash Canyon mountain and go
Whoa.
down. I did it. I go all the way down to a creek way at the bottom, and that was my first huge goal besides riding my bike.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. That is so
Yeah.
amazing. Two
Yeah.
more questions for you. If we were to
Alrighty.
peek into your refrigerator, what would we find?
Oh, my refrigerator is so full. It is constantly full of all the yummy vegetables that I can eat. I have a whole meat drawer of the meats that I can eat. I'm careful with a really clean lunch meat. Smith's has no nitrates,
Mm-hmm.
um, a really clean, just a couple of really clean ones, and two clean cheeses. And so does Trader Joe's has some clean
Okay.
lunch meats. But
Okay.
I do weird stuff like a rye bread that I have to get online. That's a big, it's kept in the refrigerator, and it's a
Uh-huh.
great because I don't eat very much bread. I do make the oat bread, oat muffins, oat pancakes,
Okay. Okay.
to be
Nice.
bread. But the refrigerator is packed. You have to really like navigate through all the different kinds of vegetables because for not only for me but for my husband, I try and put in as many vegetables to try to get all those different
That's
vitamins.
wonderful.
So it
And
really is
oh, sorry. I'm
packed.
so sorry. The reason I
Go ahead.
ask you that is because I want people to know how full of different things your refrigerator is. Once you have gone through this process, you're not really eliminating things. You are just getting a lot of other things that you can focus on and eat and
Eat.
try, so it doesn't get boring.
And when you're really eating something, I mean, like, so we go off on the weekends to work on an oldies truck. And a lot of times in the morning before we go and pack lunches, one of my lunches is an Instapot full of vegetables. So I have beets and I have broccoli, onions, and it changes. Colorful carrots. They have really colorful carrots now.
Yes, they do.
Um, yeah, that's fun. And so those are my warm food that I would go to. And then, things like I'm saying the rice crackers, where I like peanut butter and blueberries with my rice crackers. So that's like
Oh,
something I would pack as my snack. The kohlrabi for crunchy, because
mhm.
people like crunchy. Trader Joe's has a really nice no salt tortilla chip. That's oh shh. Don't tell because I run out of them all the time. But that's the point to share these things with people so that they can get things that they really want. My hardest, actually, answering that question again, my hardest to quit was giving up for that first 2 weeks, and actually, 6 weeks or whatever, was my Mexican food. And so when I was able to get back and be able to eat something, I ate my Mexican rice from my favorite Mexican food restaurant with some guacamole. And then I
Right.
got to add in the corn for my corn tortilla. And then we added in the chicken with a little
Mhm.
bit of spice. And so adding these in things and trying out, something that you really loved and being able to get a little bit of it,
Uh-huh.
it helps you be able to move forward with, all the other things that you're eating, but you still get that little snack and you
Yeah.
get that taste.
So, yeah, what you enjoy, you get to bring some of it back. Now, tell
Yes.
me, what would you tell somebody who was hemming and hawing? They weren't sure that they should do this. What would you tell them?
I'm sad because there are some people that I know that they would be so happy. It changes everything, and that
Mhm.
if you take this leap, I love the fact that it's leap. You take this leap in
Literally,
your
yep.
life. Yeah, you take this leap in your life. And every day that you're not taking the leap, you're wasting the time and we never know how long is that time. And
Mhm.
so every day that you're not healing, that you're not really jumping in, um, it's a day that you could have been starting to feel better.
Enjoyed your life,
And
yeah.
so it makes me sad why there are certain people that I know, and I'm just like, I wish you understood that, we spend all
Different.
this money on coffees and we spend money on, oh gosh, fast food or
Mhm.
medication, right? The
Yes,
medication costs
medication,
a lot
yes.
of money. And so, sure, initially you have to come up with a little bit more because insurance is being horrible about it. And
Yeah.
that's just wrong that they're not supporting us being healthy.
Mhm.
But to take that leap and do it as soon as you feel that you can commit to that
Right.
time to learn so that you can have that time to
Awesome.
be who you are. You
Oh,
really
I'm
are.
so happy for you. Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Is there anything else you wanted to share?
I'm just really glad to get to help you spread the word. I'm glad to be a
Thank
part of
you.
Sarah's journey and with her children. And I'm thankful. I am more than I can say thankful that this has been brought to my attention
Mhm.
and thankful that people are working with people for healthy choices to give them the best life that they can have.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been so great hearing your story. Thanks for spending time with me. And remember, a lot
I
of disease states are caused by inflammation. So, you were going to say something. Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, the inflammation is, I mean, I guess we didn't really talk about the inflammation. That makes a huge difference in your joints and these things that leap is helping with the fibromyalgia, and
Yes.
people say that's the not real disease, right? Like
Not real until you have
that
it yourself, then it's very
it
real.
is real. Yeah. And the mind clarity for the older people of all ages are doing this. So the lady who was doing the crafts that I was saying with the Fruit Loops,
Mm-hmm.
her little boy is probably going to start too. And so
Yeah.
then it's opening up the children's diaper rashes and their tummy
Yes.
aches. And so there's just the inflammation and the all these weird things that we don't even know the names of. What is that really? It
Yeah.
is making a difference to brain fade for the older people, everything. I really hope that people will get on board. They'll leap on board to
Absolutely.
take this
Absolutely.
risk.
Yeah. When you get to the other side, you'll be so thankful. So this is
Yeah.
just more ways that this plan is helping you. The list goes on with diabetes, fibromyalgia, migraines. And if you're out there wondering, remember, I don't just give you the results of your test. I review the test and support you all the way into a less inflamed life. So why wouldn't you get started with food? Give me a call and let's get started. Thanks again, Jill. Thanks so much. I hope you have a wonderful
Thank
long
you.
weekend.
Thanks. You too.
Thanks.